Welcome to Between the Shelves. I am your host, Alex, and this week I am joined by Sean.
What's going on?
Peter.
Hello.
And Lizzie.
Hey.
Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
This episode, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Before we get into, I guess it's legacy and everything, what was your first experience with Jaws?
That was going to be my question I was going to ask.
Well, I'm the host, and I got to it first.
Wow.
You want me to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
I'm already talking. I think my earliest memory, I was 3 or 4 years old, and I was being babysat by my neighbor across the street, and we were at his house, and I think I watched Jurassic Park and Jaws in the same night, and I was petrified, but thought it was so cool, because I was like, of course I was 3 or 4, so I thought it was like all real, and I was like, how did they bring back dinosaurs, and how did they have a real life shark attacking people? I just thought it was like really, really cool, and I was just kind of blown away at how they could do that. And now, of course, like watching it as like an adult, it's so impressive that it was made 50 years ago, and it like still holds up like so well. Yeah. So yeah.
What about you, Lizzie?
So my mom is obsessed with Jaws. She literally has it on TV all the time. It's always playing. Nice. So I've always just seen it, like clips of it. And then we saw Jaws 3D. I forget what anniversary it was, but that was like my first time seeing it. And it was really good.
In the theaters?
Yeah.
Wow.
In 3D. So yeah, so it was fun.
Nice. I went through a little bit of a horror kick when I was younger, like too young. And Jaws was part of the platter of horror movies, classic horror movies that my dad decided that it was right for me to see as a young, aspiring film buff. And I was way too young at the time. I was scared of sharks in the ocean for a long time afterward. But I loved it since a very young age. What about you, Peter?
I'm not actually sure. Like, I'm old, so it was not that old when I was a little kid. I think I just saw it on TV. It was, in high rotation or whatever. And I was the same. I got into horror movies a little young, but I was never like animal type horror movies were never my thing. I'm more into like a supernatural thing, but so I don't really remember.
I remember it having like a distinct appeal to me because I'm kind of from the area it's shot in, so everything, like the houses to the beaches, like everything looked very familiar, which I think added like a layer of creepiness. Long Island's a little bit like that too. I mean, this could have been shot in Long Island.
I was going to say, wasn't it set on Long Island?
I think it's in Martha's Vineyard.
Vineyard.
Yeah.
I also, when I was a kid, I grew up in Utah, so it was all very abstract to me. Like, it wasn't scary because I'm like, I was not going to the beach.
Right. Exactly. It was so out of like the world for you that you're like, well,
it's not part of my world.
Yeah.
You're like, this entire thing is fake.
But yeah, being on the island, it's definitely... It feels so close to home.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. Even when I go swimming now, it's like you think of the first scene and like your foot just being like hit by something. You're like, oh my God. So scary.
All right, let's get into it. So you mentioned the first scene, like that has one of the most iconic openings of maybe any movie. What's everyone's thoughts on the opening?
I think it really like grabs your attention right away. I don't know if any other movie has really done that for me in a long time. Because it starts off and you're kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen with this couple? And then all of a sudden she's like getting eaten by a shark. And you're like, oh my God, okay. It's starting already.
Yeah, it grabs your attention right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of like sets the bar for like what the movie's going to be like throughout it. And like, I like that it's gory in effect where it's not too much and it can still make you scared because it's more like, it's like a thriller creepy, which I love because it makes you think like, yeah, like this could easily happen to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of like sets the bar to see like what you're in for the next 2 hours or so.
Yeah
I was just gonna say I think it's probably the most effective scene in the whole movie. And kind of along what Sean was saying, I feel like the scenes where there's no special effects, it's more have aged a lot better than some of the other ones.
It's like a micro horror movie within itself. Like it's like the promiscuous teens, you're going to be punished for being promiscuous. Like you're vulnerable female, and then hidden monster in the black and the darkness.
But it was so cool because like it hadn't really been done before because it's like Friday the 13th. It didn't come out till like 5 years later, and then that kind of like exaggerated that entire trope. So like for the time, it's like this is the first time really this has like ever happened. It was really cool. and it was done well. I feel like it was not like cheesy.
No. Originally, when they were planning to shoot this movie, the opening was going to be very different. They were going to show the shark. And then this movie, if you know anything about this movie, you know that they had many, many production troubles with the shark itself, or Bruce as it became to be affectionately known by the crew. It had technical issues. It was always failing and sputtering out and was uncooperative, to say the least, which ended up being the greatest gift Spielberg ever received.
Big time.
Because the shark isn't shown for the first hour of the film, which just builds the tension just steadily throughout that whole time. And when he finally is revealed, which we'll get to a little bit later, the payoff is so great.
Yeah. It was so cool how, like, because they couldn't build the whole shark and, like, get, like, the mechanics of it to work out, that they were able to just, like, mount the camera on, you know, this quote-unquote shark. But, you know, I would love to see, like, what it actually looked like on set. But I feel like seeing it from the point of view of the shark, it just makes it so much scarier. Because you feel like you're, like, you are the shark. You are Jaws.
Yeah, this movie could have easily been just another B horror movie.
Oh, for sure.
If the shark was working. Because when the shark, if you see production photos of it, it's not very impressive on its own.
Yeah.
But Spielberg, again, all to his credit, he makes this movie what it is. And this is why he's a legend, because he was very creative. He was quick on his feet. And he built the tension around it without ever showing it, which was perfect. He was also 28.
That's insane.
When they were filming this. Crazy. I don't know if we want to get into it, but he was snubbed for Best Director for this film, in my opinion.
Was he nominated?
He was not. No, he wasn't even nominated.
That's crazy.
There's footage of him the night that they announced the nominees for the Oscars, and he's having like a party expecting to be nominated
Of course.
for making the biggest movie of ever, and he doesn't get it, and he's just looks so distraught. You can just
That's
tell.
horrible.
Do you know who ended up winning that year? What year was it? Let me see.
Well, it came out in
You're
75.
supposed to be the Oscars.
Yeah, you're supposed to be
expert.
like, well, it came out in 75, so Oscars are probably in 76.
Oh, it says that guy.
Milos Forman for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Sure.
Another great film.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think he probably should have been nominated for this film. And this was at a time where genre films like this were just not even. They're still not given the credit that they're due, but
No.
certainly not in the 70s. So before we just go on further with the plot, I should also note this is because you were mentioning this kind of set the standard of what a blockbuster is. This was the first film to ever gross over $100 million. Eventually, it reached 267 by the end, $267 million on a $12 million budget.
That's insane.
That's very impressive.
Which is incredible. Yeah, and this was the highest grossing film of all time when it was released, and held that title for not too long, for 2 years when Star Wars came out, and held that for quite a while. It also was the first movie to ever release at more than 400 theaters.
Wow.
And eventually reached 700 theaters by the end of the summer. Like, it was just a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That is really crazy that he wasn't nominated. Like, after all those numbers, how could you not?
And like, he's really been snubbed a lot throughout his entire career. I feel like the Academy just has like some sort of problem with him. Like, I don't know. So I think he only won for Schindler's List. I think was the best director. I think it's the only one he's ever. That also won Best Picture.
That can't be true.
What is the?
Saving Private Ryan?
I'll look it
He
up.
must have. Classic. Color Purple. That's him, right? I'm not confused.
Yep. No, you're right.
Yeah, the original one. Mm-hmm.
We can't get bogged down in Oscar trivia. He won for Saving Private Ryan
Oh, okay, good.
and Schindler's List for director.
Yeah. But still, though, like, even since then, he's made, like, incredible movies that just no one really pays, that's, like, not, I don't know.
Spielberg is a good director.
Yeah.
A great observation
Hot
for
take,
hot
yeah.
take from us. The opening scene is iconic. You get the John Williams score, which is a whole nother layer of what makes this movie a classic. And then we move on to The second shark attack I think is also iconic because it's the boy.
Yeah.
That scene like is in my when I think of Jaws, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's actually based off a real shark attack. A lot of these
No
shark
way.
attacks are based on true events.
That's
I mean,
horrible.
the shark himself was not 25 feet long, but I think it raises the stakes of the film in a very effective way because you do not expect a child to be a victim, even in a horror movie. It seems like you're stepping over the bounds a little bit.
I feel like now it's probably more common, but like back then it was like that was like a big thing to have happen.
I really like the way it was shot too, where he gets pulled under and you just see the blood.
Yeah.
And no like big
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
shark
like
hitting it, so it's like the people around don't even
like
notice at first.
it's gory but not too much, and like it conveys it conveys the point. It conveys like the tension and the fear that everybody has watching it without having to like see the kid get like ripped to shreds.
Yeah, it makes like your stomach drop.
Oh,
You're
for
just like,
sure,
oh
yeah.
my god. And that's why I think it like those scenes are so cool because they're not overdone. Like a lot of movies now, it's just like to get gore and to make it so dramatic, but it's like there's virtually nothing in that scene, and you're like,
It's
oh my
not
god.
I would say it's even not a gory film at all. I mean,
Yeah,
all you see is
not at all.
the red water. As a matter of fact, I think the only gore you ever see in the whole film is way later on in the movie when they're looking through I think it's like a library book of like shark attack victims. And it's just like another very clever way of like, this is a $12 million budget. Like we don't have the makeup to do this. So like, how can we convey to the audience like the dangers that are present without, having to up the makeup
Yeah.
budget.
For sure.
So that was a really effective scene also. The next scene I have notes here for are the town meeting where we're finally introduced to Quint. I love this. This is such a good scene. Quint's introduction is so funny where he's in the back of the town meeting and they're all discussing like what to do about the shark. And he just scratches his nails or something on the chalkboard. So funny. Apparently, in the original script, they were going to introduce him at a movie theater where, and the movie playing was going to be Moby Dick. And
Oh, wow.
Quint was going to be in the theater, like heckling the movie.
Yeah.
But I get they didn't. The only reason they even shot that, but they didn't use it in the final cut because they couldn't get rights to show stock
Oh my
footage
god,
of Moby
that's so
Dick.
funny.
But yeah, Quint as a character is just perfect. What is the actor's name? Robert Shaw. Just maybe my favorite character in the whole movie. He's just embodies that like surly captain kind of character. He's wise beyond his years, and he has that dark, mysterious past that isn't really revealed until much later when you get his real motivation for wanting to take on the shark hunt.
Yeah.
But man, I love this character. Robert Shaw's performance is inspired. I mean, he was like born to play that role. It's incredible. So many great lines too. That's another thing. Like a lot of this, when they went to go shoot this film, they hadn't even finished the script yet. So a lot of the lines were all improvised. We're gonna need a bigger boat. A lot of people think that was improvised. It actually wasn't. That was like an inside joke on the crew, and Scheider. Roy Scheider was smart enough to use it effectively, but
Smart, yeah.
yeah, but like Shaw's line of like it's got dead eyes like dolls, or I forget exactly what the phrasing was. That was improvised, and that's just so creepy. And
Is that when they're all in the cabin of the boat and they're like drinking and they're like all like it's like that really like deep talk after like the first attack?
Well, that's later on in the film,
okay.
but that is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
When they're all in the cabin talking.
Yeah. When they're sharing their scars, comparing scars and everything, all right up until the shark returning. That's such a great scene.
It's such like a classic like macho man scene. Like I'm gonna prove how like I'm more of a man than you are. Like I have the scar.
Well,
Which is funny.
I love that scene because it starts as like a comedy and it just slowly transitions to tragedy because it goes from the scars to Quint telling his story about being on the USS Indianapolis. Is that right? That sunk, and his war story about like all of his shipmates being devoured by sharks, after the boat got sunk, and it's like a horrifying story.
Yeah.
And so it goes from like them laughing about, like, oh, like I got this scar from whatever, like comparing scars, and like, oh, like, but the worst one was like the love, like, of my life that left or whatever. And they're just like drunk and just making fun of each other, and then it just turns into like tragedy and horror when his story ends with the shark returning. Just such a great scene.
I just want to mention, because it's kind of before what we're talking about now, but I was struck watching it again. This is something that I noticed about Spielberg, and I don't know if it's because the movies that his iconic movies were when I was a kid, or because I saw them when I was a kid, but there's something about his like domestic scenes that feel really real to me. Like there's a scene in Jaws where the little kid, Roy Scheider's kid, like cut himself and they're washing, and there's just something about like the interior domestic scenes, not just in Jaws, but like in E.T. and in Close Encounters, that for whatever reason, it might be that it's my age group, but it just resonate with me, and they feel real,
No, for sure. I feel like he does such a good job because he's doing these like crazy movies that probably like things that don't happen normally, but yet he's still keeping it grounded, and he's making it relatable for everybody, even if like you don't live near a beach or there's a spaceship coming down in your town. Like, you're still able to kind of see yourself on the screen, which is, I feel like, yes, you have to have a real skill and a real mindset to get that conveyed well.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Thank you so much, Alex. I'm shocked hearing that from you. Usually it's always, well, I don't know about that, Sean.
Well, we'll get to our star rating discussion on another episode, but I think you're exactly right. It's you can make a sci-fi movie, you can make a horror movie, whatever, but if it's not grounded in reality, because like you have to know the audience that's coming, and if you can make it real to them, if you can make them see themselves in the movie, it just adds so much more.
No, for sure, yeah.
I think we should also mention Matt Hooper, the marine biologist, played by Richard Dreyfuss.
He's my favorite character.
He's your favorite character? Yeah. He's kind of like the snarky, kind of funny jokester sort of character, but also the expert. Everyone's playing kind of multiple roles, but the trio, the triangle that they've made is just like, that's all you need for a movie. It just the three separate characters, bouncing off one another is just perfect. But Lorraine Gary, the actress who plays Chief Brody's wife, I think she's great as well. She has some very funny lines. She's kind of plays like, lightens up some scenes, but she also, has some great dramatic parts as well. It's just, everyone just really steps it up for a movie that they didn't expect to be a hit.
And I'm glad, like, with her, they didn't make her like that, like, clueless kind of like housewife of the time where, like, he's going to go off and he's going to save the day and he's going to solve everything, and she doesn't really know anything about it. Like, they make her as involved as like he is, because that's just like I feel like that's how it normally is, Yeah,
she could have been a very disposable character.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think she has some great lines, and she really adds to Brody's whole life too, and adds more weight for when he goes off. It adds more tension, I guess, for when he's in danger.
And like it makes the audience characters, like if he dies, like then you see like what he will leave behind.
Yeah,
between
exactly.
her, like, and his son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking through. So there's so many iconic scenes. I mean, like the autopsy, the shark autopsy, the autopsy of the first victim. Again, like Spielberg's smart. He's working with a very small budget. They don't show anything really. Like, the human bodies, they don't show anything. It's always shot up, like looking up at Dreyfuss, which is just great acting. That's all you need. With dramatic lighting. It's just so well done. Yeah, you mentioned the dinner scene. I think that's another iconic scene with when Scheider and the kid are kind of playing off one another. It just sets that just domestic scene. So it just, again, it grounds everything. So when they do go off on their high seas adventure, you know what the stakes are.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bit of an aside, but this is my quibble with a lot of contemporary movies and books, is they want to get right to the action, and you don't care what happens because you haven't spent any time with the characters in their normal lives,
Exactly, and this is why I think Alien, again, to bring up Alien, my favorite movie. That's why I think Alien is such a great
that
film.
Alien's your favorite movie?
Yeah, you didn't know from all the memorabilia I have all over my desk.
And the display that you had.
I've never heard you mention that.
It's a great movie.
It's
We're gonna do an
cool-
episode on it someday.
It's
and I might not need any
movie.
guests for it.
I will gladly do that. I love that.
We should have my mom on it.
Really?
But that movie does the same thing. I think Ridley Scott even mentioned in all the books I've read about Alien that he was inspired by Jaws. Like don't show the monster for the first hour. Create the characters first, make the audience care, then put the characters and the audience in the worst position possible.
And it makes the audience be like, what will it actually look like when it comes to?
Yeah, because
And
your
then you
imagination's
shock-
always
Yeah.
worse than
and then you
than
shock
reality.
them and you're like, holy crap, what am I seeing right now?
Mm-hmm.
So when it is finally revealed, when Roy Scheider's chumming the water, and again, it's another Spielberg does a great job. He has a scene start in comedy and then turn to horror within a shot.
Yeah.
He's complaining that he has to do the chum bucket or whatever. He's cracking jokes. He's making fun of the Quint, and boom, within an instant, there you go. It's almost 2/3 of the way into the movie. We finally see the shark right up close. It's scary. It's spooky. If it's your first time seeing it, you probably jump out of your seat.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But within a second ago, you were just laughing. So it's just so effective.
I think that's a good example, too, of something that I don't know if Jaws was the first movie to do it, but it was the first movie on the scale to do it that you see in so many horror movies now where somebody's not, obliviously doing something, and you know that something's
You're
about to happen,
anticipating
but
it.
yeah. The other scene that remind me of that you see in horror movies over and over is the kind of fake out scene when you think somebody's gonna die and then they don't. The scene where the two guys are putting the roast on a hook on the dock and putting it in the water, and the shark gets it and he's falling down, but it's a fake out. He doesn't, he gets away. You think he's gonna get eaten by the shark. He doesn't. But those sort of things, I imagine, as a non-film historian, are so common now because of Jaws did them so successfully and was seen by so many people too.
Right. So just before this, they had the barrel scene where they're firing the harpoon gun to stick the barrels on it, and then it goes into the dinner scene the scar scene. They're talking, and then the next day they continue that action sequence with firing the second and third barrels. And again, this is just another great example of working on a small budget. They never show the shark other than the fin, but you can just see the barrels filled with air being pulled underwater, and instinctively this creature is immense and powerful to be able to do this. And then it makes sense later on in the film when the shark is decimating their boat. It makes sense. It's not the audience isn't wait a minute, this isn't possible. They understand the power of the creature. It's just,
I think that's why
things like that.
It's so important, because I feel now so many movies, if they have the money to back it, they can have it look a certain way and feel a certain way, but if the story and the tension just isn't there, if you have the money, you can make anything look good. But if the story's not that great and the tension's not that great, it really just, at least for me, it doesn't hook me into it. But this movie, again, like you said, a very small amount of money spent on it, but you're just glued the entire time because the script works, the characters work, the tension's built slowly throughout the film, and most people, I feel can't do that as well as Spielberg did.
Yeah, there's almost a heartbeat to the action sequences where there's action pause, where they're chasing the shark, they fire the thing, then they have to wait, and they're just waiting for it to pop up again, and there's another action sequence, and then they hit it again, and there's another beat, and then you see the tension on the rope, the constant tension, there's a literal tension on the boat, and it snaps off I think the barrel or something, and there's a great shot where it's looking up at Dreyfuss or Scheider, and he dives out of the way as they're evading some debris flying at the camera. It's just great. So we're getting kind of close to the end of the film now. Spoiler, if you haven't seen at this point, Quint doesn't make it through the film, but man, what a he goes out big. This is such a great scene.
Oh yeah, big time.
And man, I've seen this movie, God, almost a dozen times now, and this scene is still like, oof, like you just cringe, like,
Yeah, it's like that's a
rough,
brutal way to go.
Yeah, and after you hear his whole life story minutes before in the in the film, it's just,
which is like also again like kind of genius because it's fresh in your mind, like hearing about his life, so it just makes the death like that more impactful for everyone watching,
Yeah, and I forgot about the whole that Richard Dreyfuss was like scuba diving during that whole scene. Like I was I'd forgotten that entirely. But I guess when they were doing that scene where he goes in the shark cage and they lower him down, they shot that the stunt double was only like 4 feet tall, I think. So they actually filmed it with real sharks, and the scale made the normal shark seem enormous when it's shot next to contrasted to a person of a smaller stature.
I have no interest in ever doing that, ever going in like a shark cage and under.
Yeah, so many people swim with sharks. I'm like, are you certifiable?
Yeah,
like that's insane.
Oh my god.
I do have some trivia about the shark panic that this film started. International shark hunting and trophy hunting of sharks skyrocketed from this film up through 2000, basically. There was an 89% drop in hammerhead shark population in the Atlantic and a 79% drop in the great whites population.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
That's not so good.
No, that's really not good.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And then there's the fun fact, to brighten things up a little bit, that everyone has this like irrational fear of sharks now, when in fact it's sharks actually attacking humans is so rare that I forget the source of this. I'll link it in the show notes, but you're statistically more likely to be bitten by a New Yorker than a shark.
That's so funny. Sounds accurate.
And I was gonna say that honestly makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So do we have any, as we're approaching the end of this film, anything else stand out to you? Anything we've missed?
I honestly just like love the ending scene when they're just like paddling away. And you're like, wow, after all that, just paddling away, like it's so crazy. It makes me nervous. I'm like, oh my god, is there going to be another shark behind them?
Right.
But
that's what they would have done now if they
they would have made it like corny.
If
and
it was
like,
a Friday the 13th, learn that lesson.
Or Carrie.
I feel like they made the 3 other movies, and like I think as a kid I really enjoyed them, but like watching them back now, it's like, my god, they're just.
Has anyone else seen any of the sequels?
I saw the third one when I was like 8 years old, so I don't remember it.
Also, right?
Or did you see Jaws 1 in 3D?
Oh yeah, so
you saw
Jaws
1 in 3D. Because Jaws 3 at the time was called Jaws 3D because it was like one of the first movies to have 3D like in the theater.
Oh,
that's what I thought you meant.
Then when it was re-released, like now it's just marketed as like
with
Jaws
the
3.
red and blue.
Oh,
but if you watch it, like the 3D aspect is just horrendous.
Oh yeah, no, I saw the first one in 3D.
So Jaws 2 is a beat for beat like remake of the first one, basically. They just add in teenagers because that's who they assume is the main audience of the film, probably correctly assuming. And it's just worse in every possible way.
Yeah.
It's maybe my least favorite of all of the sequels because
seriously,
Roy Scheider's in it. Lorraine, almost everyone returns. Even the mayor, who we didn't mention in the first film, who I think is great. He plays such just an irritable person that you jerk that you just like. He does a great job making you hate him. Yeah, everyone returns. Even John Williams is back. But the movie, it just doesn't take any risks at all. It's if you've seen the first one, you can clock what's going to happen from an hour out, and it's just boring, really, for that exact reason. And all of the teens are horrible actors, and it's just it really just drags it down. It's like they did the same movie, but they took out your 2 favorite characters, Quint and Richard Dreyfuss, Hooper, and replaced them with like 12 ditzy, like annoying, just teenagers, and it just like doesn't work. But it was when it released the highest grossing sequel of all time.
Of course it was.
Which spawned them to make Jaws 3 in 3D in 1983, starring Dennis Quaid.
It's like one of like his first ever big roles.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He had said in later interviews that he was on cocaine for every single scene of the movie.
That-
and it totally clocks.
That explains
So-
so much. Oh my God.
The director, Joe Alves, it's the only movie he ever directed.
I'm shocked by that.
But it was another giant box office success.
Of
It made
course,
$70 million, which was still a huge hit. So in 3D, it's set in like a water park,
Yeah,
like a
it's like
SeaWorld.
it is actually SeaWorld, which I was really surprised that like they got like that they got like the licensing rights, and like they are like making this like not like a dam, but they're
I don't think they had to get licensing rights. I think that they like SeaWorld probably paid them to mention it.
Yeah, they're like making some way to like make the ocean enter into something, and then there's like a gate that like
There's a man-made lagoon, I think they call it, and it has like
thank
a
you. Like
strait that
and
leads
there's
to
like
the
a
ocean.
gate, and the gate breaks, and one of the sharks get through, and then like again, kind of like the same thing. Like they want to shut down the water park, but they don't want to lose the money, just like Jaws 1. Yeah. And then like Dennis Quaid and like his love interest, she's like a whale trainer, and then they're off trying to like save the day and like tell everyone about the sharks. There's a really good scene though in that movie when all the girls are like on like the
I just saw
like
that on Letterboxd.
like the jet
Jet
skiing.
skiing.
Yeah, and it's like they're like climbing on top of each other, and then one of them falls, and then they all fall. It's like that was
I think that's the opening of the whole film.
yeah, which I think like that was cool. Like that was really the only scene from it that I think
Had nothing to do with anything, basically.
but it was just like introducing the shark.
I think on paper, this movie is the worst of all of them, but at least it's entertaining because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's so bad that it's kind of good.
It's not. It's so bad that it's not as bad as the other ones. It never reaches good status. But yeah, just the fact that it's set in like a sea park is kind of interesting, and there's like underwater exhibits that people get trapped in, so the sharks just like surrounding you. It's like it tries, which I give it credit for, which at least 2 didn't, so I give it credit for doing
I think
something.
a lot of the scenes, probably if you didn't see it in 3D too, are like they're just designed so that there's something coming at you, and the shark's coming towards you.
There's just so many. There's maybe 20 scenes in the film where it's just a still shot of like an arm floating at you, or like
There was a huge
fish
meme.
swimming at the camera.
It's a huge meme going around. I don't know if you could like tag the GIF like in the notes when you share the podcast, but it's like of like the people are like in the tubes like underwater because that was like the big thing, and the shark is like swimming at them, but the shark is literally perfectly still, and it almost looks like he's on strings, and they're just dragging it along in the water, and it's horrendous.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, it's really bad. And then, so there was a fourth Jaws film, Jaws: The Revenge, came out in 1987. Joseph Sargent directs, who I think is a somewhat respectable director. He did The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and a good sci-fi movie called Colossus, which I enjoyed when I was on my watching the top 150 sci-fi movies of all time. That was on that list.
Did you watch 150?
I did.
Of course he did.
Jaws: The Revenge is pretty bad, but it has some interesting shots. I think good performances overall, at least with the main characters. Yeah, that's great. It held my attention. It wasn't so bad. At least it had good cinematography and good shots, and the main actors did a decent job.
I think as a kid, like I remember Jaws 4 being like my second favorite.
I think it might be my second favorite.
I haven't, because I just really thought it was good. I haven't seen it in so many years, but I'm like curious to go back because I feel like I think I remember it like being scarier than 2 and 3 because it was like creepy because she was able to like communicate with the shark somehow.
Yeah. So Lorraine Gary comes back, Chief Brody's wife in the original film. She's back, and she's somehow developed like this psychic ability where she can like see the shark's perspective and like knows when the shark's attacking. It's really weird and never explained.
But it's like the brother or something or the parent of the shark from Jaws 1.
I don't know.
There's some
that's
like
ever
familial
explicitly
bond.
I feel like they were trying to capitalize on the Stephen King movie popularity because that's a very Stephen King kind of.
It's like Pet Cemetery, but in
telepathy
water.
kind of thing. And like an extrasensory perception kind of thing.
Yeah. So this is one thing we didn't mention going through all the sequels. So the Brody family appears in all of them. They're the link. They're the string that ties all these together. And I don't know what their fascination. Maybe the novels that these are based off of are all centered around the Brody family. But the first one, obviously, Chief Brody. The second one, Chief Brody's back, but it features more, I guess, his son, who's one of the teenagers. Jaws 3 are his sons grown up. They're actually the ones who are like in the water park, like running the water park.
Oh, no way.
Which I didn't realize until way later in the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then Jaws 4, his oldest or youngest son, well, I don't know, one of the sons dies, and the other one and his mom are there to kind of like revenge the death, I guess.
You know, it says here online that this is where the shark follows the Brody family to the
Bermuda, right?
Bahamas, like
okay.
trying to like find. It's like the shark knows.
I would be so mad if that happened to me. I would be so mad.
But like that would happen to you too.
Yeah, that would happen to me.
You
Oh my
would
god,
be
I'd be
away.
so angry.
That would be like my cruise last year.
Yeah.
That would
It's following Lizzie.
Yes. Moral of this podcast episode.
watch out.
So unfortunately, they never made a Jaws 5. Maybe
You know,
I guess
I
they
have
wanted
to say, I'm really surprised that they've never tried like a modern reboot. Maybe there's like a contract clause where it's like Spielberg won't allow it to happen. I'm honestly
Spielberg
I'm
didn't
shocked.
want 2 to happen. He didn't want
Yeah.
3 to happen.
I think he was a producer on 2 though.
Was he really?
I think
Or maybe
so,
he just
yeah.
wanted to check.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point, I think it was 3. I think he said, if this movie gets made, I'll never work for Universal Studios again. I don't know if that ended up becoming true or not, but he really pushed
He was
against
angry.
it.
Speaking of Universal Studios, I did see the Jaws pop-up thingy on the Universal Studios tour in California when I was 8 years old. It's like the bus tour of the. It's a bus tour, and you go over the like bridge thing over the water, and the Jaws.
That's
pops up out
actually
of the
so
water.
cool.
Speaking of Universal, also to piggyback off that, has anyone gone to the Jaws ride when it was open at Universal?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were
Orlando?
talking about.
No, this is back then in the California. It mostly was just an actual tour of the real studio, and they had a couple of attractions. But so you're just on one of those like tour bus things.
Yeah.
And you drive past the Psycho House, but yeah, there's a
really
part.
cool.
I don't know if they still have it
I
because
would
now
love
it's like a
that.
theme park, like the Orlando one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Jaws pops out.
They
There must
shut.
be a video somewhere. of
Oh
that.
yeah, they shut down the Jaws ride recently in Florida, and I'm like, how? It's a staple.
Wow.
I went on that ride when I was 8, and my brother was 12 at the time, and he was too scared to go on it. But I went on it with my dad, and there's like a part where you're like in like a boathouse, and it's so pitch black, and like these like gasoline like canisters are falling off, and like the whole boat is rocking, and I'm on the side of the boat, and the shark is like swimming around you. It is petrifying, and then you go out of it, and like something explodes, and it's really far from you, but you like feel the heat from the fire, and then the shark like comes right up like at the side, and of course I'm right on the side of the boat. Shark's like right next to me. You get soaking wet. I mean,
Is it like indoor or
no,
is it
it's like outdoors, like on like this little like
Like a little
man-made-
ferry or something.
Yeah, and then like
Oh.
the driver of the boat like acts like he like works for the town that you're in, and like he has like a gun on him, and he's like quote unquote shooting the shark in the water.
Right.
But like they did a really good job. Like it's really scary.
Wow.
I think if you go on YouTube, there's like a proper like they like filmed it.
There
So
must be.
So you can see like what the ride was like.
Yeah,
it
I
was
remember that.
insanely
I went on
cool.
that, and then I went on the King Kong ride right after
I
it.
don't think the King Kong ride was there when I went.
When did you go?
I was probably like 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was like forever ago. You're just
That was
you're
like a
so
really
old.
long
Yeah.
time ago.
Back in like the 1920s.
Yeah, it was right after the movie came out.
Yeah.
The world was black and white.
Yeah, of
That's
course,
so
always.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the notes I have for Jaws. Any closing thoughts on this iconic film?
I mean, I'm definitely seeing it in the theaters again when it comes out August 29th, and hopefully, maybe we can all go as a group. The Jaws,
We'll take the podcast.
the Jaws nerds. Yeah, we'll do a mobile podcast.
Yeah, we can do it. It's possible. Just gotta get the library to pay for it.
Yeah.
I think it's a really iconic movie, and I think it sticks with like everyone. Even when they're older, they're like they still remember that feeling of watching it for the first time and being scared, especially living on Long Island. Like I don't know. I feel like it's always in the back of your mind. Like if you're at the
Oh,
beach,
yeah.
you're like, oh my god, is like this gonna happen now?
Yeah, and I feel like every year you still hear about at least like one shark attack happening here. Like I remember Robert Moses shut down a couple times in the past like 3 or 4 years for like a day or two, but still you're just like,
Yeah,
It's
your
kinda
mind
like-
just immediately goes
yeah,
there.
it's like one of those things that like you said, it's so rare to happen, but it's just always it's kind of like ingrained in you if you live near a beach.
Mhm.
You're just like
Yes.
always like, what if?
Well, they need to elect Mayor Vaughn, so he'll keep the beaches open.
It's open.
Don't worry.
Yeah, great movie. I love how 50 years later, whenever you're swimming out in the ocean and something brushes against your foot, your
Yeah.
first thought is Jaws.
Yeah, your first thought is like, oh my god, I'm dying.
Well, I think that's all we have for this episode. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for hearing our thoughts on a 50-year-old movie. We'll see you next time between the shelves.